Everybody, welcome to the show. I am so excited to get started with such a phenomenal individual. Everybody, I want to welcome to the show Sarah Rebecca. She's a life coach. She specializes in women ages 18 to 26 who are really looking to maximize their potential. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. It is so good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Sarah, it is so good to have you here. Guys,
I'm so excited.
Sarah, she is the best person you'll ever meet. If you want to become president, she's going to set you on the path to get there. If you want to be the most rockin' stay-at-home mom with the coolest blog in the world, she's going to help you get there. And she's going to help you feel good and have high energy and a purpose along the way. Amazing person. So welcome to the show again, Sarah.
Thank you.
So that's my basic introduction, but let's have you tell the viewers, who are you? What's your name, your brand, your mission? Who's Sarah Rebecca?
Who is Sarah Rebecca? Okay. So I always say, like, my brand is to help women between 18 and 26 with all of the different things in their daily lives that are going to help them level up. So that's their time management, their boundaries, their relationships, all these little things that are going to add up. And so that eventually they can just max out their potential. We all have everything that we want to do inside of us already. It's already there. And it's just about finding it. It's just about getting into those habits, getting into those routines, being in those circumstances that are really, really going to help you level up and be exactly where you want to be. I would say my brand is mostly about dedication, ambition, and compassion. And that's what I love to bring to the table. Yes, not
three huge power words that I love.
Yes. Well, because at the end of the day, that is what has brought me where I am.
Right.
And I know that's where my clients or the people I associate with, that's what's going to get them where they want to be too. So at Sarah Rebecca, we're all about maximizing potential. I'm going to help you get there, and we're just gonna do it. It's gonna be awesome,
guys. Two things from a Mikey perspective. Two things I love about Sarah and what she's doing is, one, she is in her target market. Like, when I want to do maybe some consumer product, if I go to the gym and I'm a guy in my 20s and we're selling a protein product, I'm going to understand that market. Sarah understands her market because she is her market.
Yeah.
And then more than that, she's working off of stuff that has worked for her and has given her results. And so now she's using that to help other people. Yeah. So cool.
100%.
So cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And at first I was like, oh, I should probably help people younger than me. I should probably just be ahead. No. Because I realized, like, as a coach, I learn so much from my clients, and it's like a mutual beneficial thing.
Totally.
And just engaging in that humility has brought me to my true self so much more than trying to pretend to be all in the know and ahead of everyone and everything. So
I love it. Okay. So for the listeners, again, the point of the podcast is to bring value into people's lives, which I think we may have already done just by introducing what you do and helping people get a broader perspective on their life. But my big thing that I love to talk about is recovery. And this is going to be so interesting because you're talking about daily things in people's lives and how to actually get really good at them, maximize them, and how that's the trick to actually having the life you want. So I guess, what do you do for recovery? And specifically more, how do you do that activity? Like, do you, talk me through kind of even the tone or the focus maybe of how you do your recovery?
Well, I'll tell you this, the tone is always compassion and curiosity, no matter what, no matter where you're coming from, no matter where you're going, you need to have the 2 C's. Always. Because if you're like, I'm going to the gym because I'm fat, and just, that might get you places, but it's not gonna like get you where exactly you want to be. Because really, you want to go to the gym because you want to be strong, you want to be healthy, you want to show up in your best way every day. And so your intention is what we're going to tackle first. What is the intention? And at least for me and my clients, the intention is always curiosity and compassion. Like, okay, why is this not working? Why are we not motivated to do this? And then just kind of going into those veins. But as far as like the details of what I do love to do, really simple. Nobody's going to be surprised by any of these things. It's going to be meditation, talking to people that light you up and just fuel your spirit. It's going to be your spiritual practices. It's going to be nurturing yourself or your surroundings, just making sure you're nurtured, making sure your surroundings are nurtured so you can attract from the universe exactly what you need and want. It's going to be learning. And I kind of quantify learning as nurturing yourself. But
Yes.
that education and that, okay, just read a book, just listen to a podcast because that shows that you care. Put yourself in clothes that make you feel like $1,000,000. Go have a pedicure every 6 weeks because you gosh dang want to. All of these things to just help you create a life and nurture yourself in a way that makes you want to get up in the morning. Like at the end of the day, I just want you to have fun, to wake up, feel like you have a purpose, and just feel like you're maxing out your potential.
I love that. And you can tell that you've learned that in your own life. And I'm going to
Yeah.
have to go back and re-listen to this and make a checklist.
Yes.
This is good stuff. It's like, there's so many little things that when you do them,
Mhm.
I mean, for one, the nurturing, you're going to see progress, and progress just feels so good.
Oh,
But more
so
than
good.
that, dressing like $1,000,000, letting yourself see the outward effect of
Mhm.
this is who I
Of the
am.
fact that you respect yourself, of the fact that you
Boom.
respect yourself, and that you are not going to settle in your actions, your dress, the way you treat other people, your surroundings. This is bringing your life up. It's bringing it up so that you're ready to attract what you need.
Well, in that tone of compassion and everything, you're on your own team. You're
Mhm,
not
mhm.
against you and hating you. You are for you. I mean, you think
Yes,
that would make sense.
yes, yes, yes. I mean, and we hear the term, love yourself, self-compassion, self-care. Like they're almost overly used buzzwords at this point, but it's true. It's true.
Sure.
Just treat yourself in a way that is gonna bring the results that you want, and do it in a compassionate way. Otherwise, the intention is gonna yield something out of control that you just do not want.
Perfect answer. Love it. Value. So, do you have any stories of either yourself or
Mhm,
someone else? Don't have to get too
mhm,
specific, but we like to know like any stories where there was a breakdown due to lack of recovery. Because
mm,
I've found in my life, and I think other people have in theirs, that when you go
mhm,
too long without recovering,
mhm.
sometimes you break. It
Yes.
takes a little longer to get back, so it's better to have consistent recovery. Any stories about a breakdown due to lack of
Mhm.
recovery?
Yeah. So, okay. It's gonna get real for a second,
Okay.
but we're good. We're good. Everything's fine. So November 2020 to like May 2021. So we're coming up on like a year now.
Okay.
Anyways, during this period of time, it was dark. Like I'm telling you, like suicide helpline was on speed dial. Like some nights it was like, okay, should I call 911? Should I not? Should I call 911? Should I not? Should I check myself into the hospital? Should I not? Like, just crisis. I'll
Wow.
keep it really brief. I've been diagnosed with generalized anxiety, social anxiety, generalized depression, PTSD, OCD, all the things. All the things. I grew up with little bit of physical abuse, tons of emotional abuse. I have a sexual assault in my past. If you name it, like I have an eating disorder, everything. It's all there. And anyways, so I hit this breaking point in this like period of time from November to May. It was just dark. It was really dark. It was just this feeling. I just remember describing it as like this elephant on my chest. Like I literally, it was hard to breathe. Like
Right.
this is the day in, day out reality of just like, I honestly don't know how I was functioning. I really am not sure. Lost a whole bunch of weight, just like always shaking. My stomach was having issues, just anything and everything, you name it. And I hit May and I was like, enough is enough. And I was just like, I'm standing up and I'm going to step into my truth because this is not working out for me. And I have a gosh darn life to live. And even though everything inside of me just wants to shut down and be done, I'm not gonna settle for this. And so in May, I made some circumstantial changes. I really focused on myself and just went into full blown recovery mode, like
Right.
full blown, and just like put life on hold because otherwise life is going to put me on hold. And so, and so I just, literally, it was the meditation, it was the medication, it was, okay, am I getting enough sleep? Am I eating 3 meals a day? Which was so hard for so long to just eat 3 meals a day, or just little things. It was literally just go back to the basics. And okay, where does this PTSD, where does that root from? Go to EMDR, go to therapy, go to counseling, like just all the things, go to the doctor. Like when I say everyone was stressed out, everybody was stressed out about me. They're
Right.
like, oh my gosh, I got to talk to my supervisor about this one. And so basically just getting the help and just being like, no, like this is my life and I'm defining my life, and not being afraid of putting other things on hold that were defining my worth, whether that's work or
Yeah.
school or, LSAT grade or, anything, and just saying, whoa there, and just saying, am I eating 3 meals a day? Am I feeling comfortable about the people I'm around? Am I, all these really, really, really basic things? Am I getting enough sunshine? Am I drinking enough water? Like, am I taking my vitamins? Like, this is where we're at, you guys. Like, don't get to this point. And if you are at that point, it's fine. You know, compassion, curiosity. Let's work through it. But this is where you're at. If you crash, you crashed, and it's like one basic thing at a time, just really, really basic. So
That's such a, I mean, you really, like you said, step into your truth. I mean, you just own your story.
mhm,
And so many
mhm,
people, I think, because they don't actually
mhm,
own it, they're going, no, the problem isn't there. And then they
mhm,
neglect the
mhm.
recovery. When
Oh yeah,
for a high
yeah.
performer like you, it is difficult
Oh,
to
yeah,
say,
it's so hard.
forget the LSAT.
Uh-huh.
I need to make sure I'm sleeping and eating and drinking
Mhm,
water. Like, it's
mhm.
a whole different game. And you're like, because you've always based, probably like a lot of us, you probably based your success off of achievements.
100%. And I just remember being on the phone with the law school admissions, head of the admissions. And I was like, hey, look, I know that you guys gave me a full ride scholarship for this fall. I know that, like, all these things, but I need to find myself first. And he's like, you know what? Yes, you do, because otherwise you're going to crash and burn in law school, or you're going to crash
Right.
and burn anywhere you end up in life. And it is important that you do this. And it was just like this feeling of, oh my gosh, even the people inside of my goals are telling me, no, you need to step into your truth before you step into what you want to accomplish.
Right. Oh my gosh. So
Mhm,
here's a question. I want to
mhm,
know, how old were you? I mean, whether or not you knew it, how old were you, do you think you were when you really discovered recovery?
mhm, mhm. So three different ages are kind of highlighted for me. One was like, oh gosh, 13 or 14. I realized like, oh, I'm my own person, especially with the way I grew up. I'm my own person. And if I'm struggling, I can take a second. And literally, it was so minimal. That was such like a aha moment. And so
For
what I would do,
teenagers, that is an aha moment.
I,
That's like, wait, I am my own person and I can take a second. It's like,
yeah, it's
oh,
like, whoa.
that's
Yeah.
funny.
So the way I dealt with it was I had my comfort books that I would just turn to and I'd just read. And that was just kind of my, and they were books that I had read, and it wasn't really for educational purposes or really anything. I mean, and it was just like, this is my space and this is my domain and we're good. We're chill.
Totally.
So I think that's when it like first sprouted. And then I left home at 17 to go to college, and um I that was a key moment for me because I was like, whoa, like I'm leaving for me and I'm
Right.
pursuing this for me. And all of a sudden it was like, okay, who am I? Like I think everyone goes through this once they leave home of like, okay, what literally is going on here?
Yeah.
And then the third one was, just last year. And I think the important thing to realize is that recovery is a constant realization. Like, I know that there will be so many more ages that are going to pop out in the years to come. But you can see how little by little I just developed into, okay, hold on. Like, because when I was 17, it was like, oh, I'm just going to do homework all the time because that defines my worth.
Right.
And then it kind of evolved into, no, like this is how we hit burnout. This is how we crash and burn, like all these things. And so at these different ages, I was just able to slowly incorporate more self-care, more honestly awareness, more self-awareness as to what my needs were and how to adapt to them so that I could show up even in a better way
Wow.
to what I wanted to. So
Wow. Self-awareness. I think a lot of people typically, I mean, I'm not gonna say always, but I think a lot of people develop a lot of self-awareness through kind of that meditation and daily kind of mindfulness practice. Do you
mhm.
meditate? Do you have maybe a specific meditation that you'd like to share with the
Mhm.
audience that or
Mhm.
something? Or do you,
Yeah.
your thoughts on it?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be honest, I did not get meditation until like last year. I was just like,
Really?
what's okay. I'm like, I tried it when I was younger and I was like, why are we just sitting here? Because I'm an Enneagram type 3 and achievement is how I function. And so I'm
Right.
like, what are we doing here?
Why are
Like
we sitting here?
where's the hustle? And so it took me a minute and then I was like, oh, hold up. And it took me a minute to realize meditation has so many different purposes. Like you can literally on any given day be like, what do I need today? Because you can get like, you can meditate for focus, for endurance, to just have like your think time, just free reign, like, okay, what's going on? And to just identify something and dig in. You can manifest meditate. Like there's so many things you can do with
So many.
meditation. But I will say the big turning points for me is when I read, it's called Real Happiness by Sharon Salzberg. And
Recommendation. Love it.
yeah, yeah. And they just go through all these different, and I love the audiobook version because they go through all the different types of meditation and then do it with you. And so I feel like I have this tool belt of like all these different kinds of meditation and now I know how to do them independent of help. And I know some people, do it by themselves, some people do it guided. One of my favorite guided is Boho Beautiful, just really calming. If you're looking for calm, that's where I go. If you're looking for like manifesting or like figuring yourself out, I love the book The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein.
Another one.
She just I love it. Um
When you know
and
a book is good when it makes somebody go, ah!
yes, she's incredible. Like anything you want to do with like manifesting or healing, just go to her. So many different resources.
Does
And
it.
I'm so grateful I finally like latched onto meditation because it took me a long time to be like, oh, this is a tool. And especially, everyone has anxiety these days. Like I don't mean to normalize it, but
Sure.
like literally and it's no wonder. Like we have access to every world event and catastrophe at our fingertips, let alone our work and social life all in the same unit. Like is overwhelming. Like people that would not normally have anxiety definitely have anxiety. And it just took me like a
Sure.
minute to realize like, hey, if I have a 10-minute break between work meetings, I'm low-key just gonna sit there. I'm gonna
Wow.
just sit myself down and I'm gonna breathe 5 in, 5 out, 5 in, and just like where are we at? Do a quick 10-minute Boho Beautiful, do Gabby Bernstein, do whatever works, but it will bring you so much more calm and you'll show up so much better. Like you'll
Right.
step into your truth every time you meditate. And that's the other thing. This last thing I'll say on this before we head on to the next thing is meditation doesn't need to be perfect. Does not need to be perfect, especially with those focus ones where you're building your endurance. And it's like focus on your breathing. I'm like, gosh darn it, we're 3 seconds in and I'm already thinking about like whatever. And it's okay. It's okay. You just gently curiosity and compassion. And
Right.
you just kind of be like, why am I thinking about that? Got it. Bring it back, and it doesn't need to be perfect. Meditation does not need to be perfect. Meditation is there to serve you.
Well, and this is just it's a perfect example of a high performer because one of my favorite meditations is a guided meditation on YouTube that it just talks about like it's coming at you from the perspective that you're at work in the middle of your workday
Uh-huh.
and you need
Uh-huh.
to just kind of do that 5 in, 5 out. But it's
Mhm.
like it's just like the thing I love about it is that somebody who knows that they have meditation as a tool in their arsenal is
Mhm.
going, oh, I'm experiencing some sort of emotion that is either distressing or unwanted or whatever. But
Yep.
then you think in your head and you go, oh, but I have a meditation for that specific thing.
Exactly.
And so many people freak
Exactly.
out when they don't have a solution to their problem. But when you know you have a
Mhm.
solution that you've actually
Mhm.
practiced and you know it's worked,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
calm down
Yeah, they're
and you
stressed about
keep
being stressed.
moving.
Yeah.
Exactly. It
Mhm.
compounds. No,
Yes.
that's well, and this brings up another thing, which I think is cool. It's just that, like, if you don't recover for a long time, you're going to need
Mhm.
a lot of recovery and you're going to have to
Yes.
focus mostly just on recovery for a while.
Yep.
But there are preparation things you can do throughout the day that make your day a lot less strenuous. And
Mhm.
so you need less recovery.
Mhm.
What are maybe a few of your favorite preparation things that help you just not stress, not get torn down, and make your day easier so you need less
Mhm.
recovery?
Oh, love it. I love that. The first thing I'll say is sleep. It is so common for it is so common for women to come to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I know you don't sleep, but let me tell you about this." And I'm like, "Hold on, hold up. I get 8 hours every night because I make it a point to." And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." Like that is an uncompromised, like not you're not messing with it. I
Right.
get 8 hours every night because that's what your body is built to do. And I get that some people can do, the 7, or some people need the 9 or the 10,
Sure.
whatever. You figure you out, you be that self-aware person. But for me, it's 8. And we just don't mess with it. No matter how much is going on. If it's interfering with my sleep, I know that too much hustle is going on. It's too toxic and it's interfering with how I show up. So
Totally.
that's the first thing. I already talked about eating. Getting those 3 healthy meals in every day. Like, if I it's gotten to the point where I'm like, "Okay, no, like, lunch is scheduled." Like, we're not doing work meetings during lunch because,
Right.
like, if I don't eat, I start getting shaky, I start like, the blood sugar stuff, I'm like, "No, no, we're not messing with that." Like, we're gonna eat the 3 meals a day or the 5 meals if you do smaller, whatever. Again, the self-awareness. This is just me. This is how I show up. And then, you step into your truth. The working out is just, and you know what? It doesn't even need to be like going to the gym. Just take a 15-minute walk. Just move your God-given body. Just like move it.
Move it.
And because that's what it's meant to do. Do a dance party, do a like whatever you need to do, like throw a couple punches. uh, I don't care. Just move it. Just move it.
I love it.
Um, hydration. I just cannot overemphasize. Um, and because when you're hydrated, life's just better. You're more energetic. You feel better. Your body is like, these are basics. This is how your body is meant to operate. Take your vitamins, consult with your doctor, especially in the cold season. Just do some zinc and vitamin C. And especially during winter months, do some vitamin D. You're not getting the sunshine your body needs. Like, get
Right.
that vitamin D. I'm not prescribing anything. This is a medical disclaimer. Go to your doctor and like get your vitamins. Um, Either therapy or a coach or a mentor.
Huge.
You need someone slightly ahead of you. At least. They can be pretty ahead of you, but at least someone that's just a little bit there for you. Don't use your friends. Please don't use your friends like this. Like, that's not their role. It's not their role. And it's using them. You could go to them for support, you can go to them
Right.
for conversation, you can go to, but not for coaching, not for therapy, So, I get that it's expensive. There are options. There are options. Like even like my coaching program that opens up in May, $60 a month for group coaching. For students, it's half off because I care about people having access to coaching and to resources and to like, okay, what's my next step? And so just therapy or a coach or something. Um, this
And
one
anyone
is
who
huge.
can't afford that, I mean,
Yeah,
they need a coach anyway, like so that they can get their life together, stop their
right,
terrible spending habits or something. I mean,
right,
well,
right,
the other thing that
right.
I love is once they get one session with you,
Mhm,
they're
mhm.
kind of wondering how they ever lived without it because it's just like
Right.
it's so like when I mean, they would never suspect to see the results that they see. And the
Uh-huh.
results, I mean, all these people that I see that are ahead of me that I'm trying to learn from
Mhm,
them.
mhm,
I mean, I've got guys paying a quarter million a year for mentors
mhm,
because even though
mhm.
they only make a little over that, they know that that's going to spring them into, the millions. There was
Yes.
one couple I know, not going to tangent here, but they had $1 million year and then they started working with a mentor and they last time I talked to them they had their first $1 million week.
Oh
And
my
so to your point,
gosh.
if you feel like your life is out of order and you want to
Uh-huh.
and you wonder because there's people who are thinking right now, how do people ever get to that level where they just have their life
Mhm. Ask. Ask.
totally
Find those resources.
find Sarah. I mean, guys, I mean, you can already see her handle and everything down here for her Instagram or YouTube, and we'll have it in the descriptions and everything. But look up her stuff, follow her content, try and get a free session. I mean, start the
Mhm,
half off thing. I mean, just see what you're missing out on. So anyway,
mhm,
keep going.
mhm.
Don't use your
Yeah,
friend as
yeah,
a
yeah,
therapist. Make sure they're ahead of you. If they're behind you, you will become their mentor. That's just how
yeah.
it works. You
Yes.
cannot help that. Like
Oh,
that's just
it's
how
so
it happens.
true. It's so true. This one took me a long time to realize, and honestly, I will say this is what like the crash and this is when the crash and burn happened. This is what caused it. Is I was prioritizing all these things, but I wasn't doing this one. And that's ultimately why I crashed. And that is taking away the triggers, the stress,
Whoa.
um, the abusive influences, everything, root them out. Because you can water those flowers all day long, but if the weed is still strangling it, this is not going to do anything. And I neglected to pull out the weed. I did. And
Most people don't
um
want to.
oh, it's I didn't want to. I'm
I mean,
still
that's just
still
it.
recovering, like it's rough, but at the same time, like you can do all these things
Right.
and it's still not going anywhere. So, whatever that is, and I feel like that's a very personal thing and it's something you need to work with your coach or your therapist or,
Right. Well, and that
have,
coach is an
yeah.
outside eye to help you see that.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
mean, sometimes it is
Yeah.
right there and you know it, but you don't accept it, so it doesn't
Yeah.
become known
And
to you.
I didn't even, well, here's the thing too. I'll just put in this isn't trying not to be a tangent.
Sure.
Especially with abusive stuff, if you grew up in it, it's your normal. And so it took me, and that's why it started in November. I met with a therapist for the first time in November. She told me, and I was like, shoot. And then it took me a couple months to root it out. Um,
Was it
but
hard for you to
especially,
accept?
oh yeah, I call it diagnosis shock.
Oh,
When
yeah.
you get a diagnosis, but also there is the shock of the inflammation too. Of
Yeah.
just like, gosh, like what? Like that's my life? No, that's the movies. Like that's not my life. And it took a long time.
Crazy.
Mhm. Mhm. And like it probably took me like 4 to 6 weeks to just wrap my brain around it. Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, I would be more shocked, but I think in my life, for anything I've had that's anything similar, I've had a
Mhm.
similar experience.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize that I was, in a relationship that was draining me or,
Right.
putting
Right.
myself in
Right.
an environment that was bad for me.
Yes. And we're both very self-aware people.
I
Like,
think so.
yeah.
I mean, maybe everyone watching this is like, yeah, right. Like, whatever, you go get a coach, you'll see.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
all
It's
blind.
crazy. It's insane. But anyway, so like pulling back, the other things are just live life for you, be excited about life, Have fun. That, like, especially for my achievers out there that are similar to me, have fun. What are you doing for fun? Like, this life is for fun too. It's to achieve and have fun. Boundaries, crucial. We all know. I don't need to go on my soapbox about boundaries.
No, I was just having a conversation about that like last night. People were like,
Yeah, yeah.
you guys do, I mean, or you're like, do some people like not even think about their boundaries or like, and not just with other people, but like with yourself, whatever.
Themselves.
I mean, draw some boundaries. Ask Sarah about boundaries.
Oh, I can
Coaching
tell you, I
call.
can talk all day long about boundaries. Um, the last couple are just make sure your social life's on par. I mean, that's so simple, but like, just make sure it's there. Your living environment and your surroundings. Like, if you're
Huge.
not in a good space, move, move to a nice apartment downtown, move to like a wealthy area where you're going to be blessed. And this isn't me just like be content, but be healthily content, which means you're content, but you're achieving, but you're also having fun, but you're also like, it's the balance. It's the balancing act, right?
Well, and if that sounds impossible, that's why you need a coach,
Exactly.
because they're going to show
Exactly.
you how that's
Very
so
possible.
possible and not even difficult.
Mhm,
It's just
mhm.
doing it right.
Well, and I like what you say, it's not difficult because it's difficult getting there. But
Yeah,
once you, because once you step
can
into your
be.
truth, you're like, this is my spot. This is where I'm, aligned. And that's exactly where I want to be. So, anyways, this is the last thing I'll say on this is you can't do all of these every day. I try to, everyone tries to, but be gracious with yourself, compassion and curiosity. Like, okay, why am I still hanging out with this person? Why am I not setting this boundary? Why did I not move my body today? How come I didn't eat enough? How come I didn't get enough sleep? That compassion, that curiosity to eventually get to this point where you're doing these dailies. That is where you're going to find your truth.
I love it. Oh my gosh, so much good stuff, guys. If we were keeping her longer, she'd talk all day, and you'd all be so you'd be set after this.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Got to pay for that.
I know, yeah. Well, you should. And the other thing is, I love when people do pay because, frankly, for myself at least, it creates a real an
Oh yes.
investment mindset where I'm
Uh-huh.
investing in myself. Yeah,
Oh
even if
yeah,
it's just a
totally.
little or a lot. I mean,
Uh-huh.
but anyway, so those were huge. I was going to ask you, is there any big lesson that you're learning right now in your life? That was
Mm-hmm.
already huge. I don't, is there anything else that you feel like you want to share? I mean, kind of, I mean, I don't want to get into it too quick, but like, what's your message to the world? And like,
Yeah.
if this was going to be viewed by everybody, what would you want to tell them?
Yeah. Well, I'll do the first half. What am I learning right now?
Okay, good.
I am worthy. And I don't need to work for love. I don't need to work for acceptance. I don't need to work for self acceptance. That's just groundbreaking for me to
Totally.
realize, especially for my achievement people out there. Like, look, you're doing great. You're doing awesome. Take off the toxic hustle and realize you are enough and you are worthy of the basic necessities. You are worthy to feed yourself. You are worthy to let yourself sleep. You are worthy to expect that the people around you love you just as much or more than you love them. And you are worthy to accept that. And you are worthy to pursue your own alignment and to maximize your potential and to invest in yourself. You do not need to work for everyone around you. You do not need to make everyone else happy. You can step into your own truth. And then the second half, what do I want to tell everyone?
Wow.
This is what I want to say. Your life is your own. It is your gosh dang life. Don't let anybody else compromise that for you. It is your life. Do what makes you happy. Go and associate with people that light your spirit up and wake up in the morning and just fuel your passion and just don't let boundaries get in the way. Don't let, or lack of boundaries, what I should say. Um, but setting those boundaries, don't let
Totally.
setting the boundaries get in the way. Don't let the obstacles get in the way. Don't let fear get in the way. Get outside your comfort zone. Go pursue your life because I know every single one of you, you know what you want in your life. And I'm telling you, it is all inside you. It is all there. You have been pre-packaged to set that thing up in your life. And if something is in the way, root it out, get rid of it, bring in the good, take out the bad, and just pursue your life because it is yours. It is nobody else's. You do not need to cater to anyone else, including your inner voice that has been built by the people around you that maybe have not your best interests at heart. You are in charge. You are the boss, and you have everything in you that you need to do.
I love it. So good. Guys, you can't, recognize Sarah is in the early stages of her life, and she's at such a professional level. Imagine the impact she wants to help you have on the world. That's her. Her mission is to help spread what she knows to other people so that they can bless the world. It's such a compound effect. So happy about it. Sarah, where's the best place for them to find you? I know we've already got links below, but is there a preferred setting for if they're looking for some sort of information where to find you?
Instagram. Just feel free to message me. Feel free to reach out. Feel free to just follow the content. It's for you guys. I love just helping you guys. I love seeing the progress. I love seeing your eyes light up when you realize that you're in charge and you can do whatever you want to do. I do it for you guys. Just find me on Insta and we'll connect there.
Sarah, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on the Mikey Martin Show.
Of course, my pleasure.
We'll hopefully have you back soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much.